You're so anti-fashion, so worthless. Instead I'm dredging down all the same. As if I look like that, I can't split my knees.
Hello there, YouTube, VC, good people of the interweb, and all that malarkey. Back again, yes. Do like to start off with a little tune, don't we? You're probably wondering why I'm playing that. That's There, My Dear by Dexys Midnight Runners. That's from by far their best period of their discography. The reason why I'm playing it is, yesterday I was in a local supermarket and went on there. I like to visit the bit that sells all the newspapers and the magazines and all that, and the library, I call it. I often stand there for half hour or so reading whatever, whether it's the fishing magazines. I love my fishing. I like to see what's on the front covers of the papers, the usual old bullshit and bollocks. And I like to read the magazines, and I picked up a copy of Record Collector. On the front cover, the top 70 singles of the past 70 years. And I thought, oh, here we go, it's going to be one of these where some bloody music journalist who probably thinks they know it all, and they standing there waxing lyrical over some song you've never even heard of. Yeah, picks these obscure bloody tunes and all that and puts it in their selection and all. But anyway, I was thumbing through it, and lo and behold, this tune by Dexys Midnight Runners. There, My Dear, was in it. The top 70 singles the past 70 years. I couldn't believe it. So much better than that Come and Eileen bloody rubbish. Although I do have that in the collection. I try to be a bit of a completist, but their earlier stuff, Searching for the Young Soul Rebels and all that, far superior. So yeah, I couldn't believe it. That was it. That was in the top 70 singles of the past 70 years. I think the only other one I could... There was the usual stuff in there, as you'd expect. Bowie and whatever. Yeah, Blondie was in there as well, with Union City Blue. I couldn't believe it. But yeah, anyway, look, enough waffling. I'm still trying to wade through last month's vinyl finds and buys. 2, 4, 5. I've got about 8 records here. I've got these from a second-hand dealers last month, a shop in a village called Buckton, and I'll put a link to it all in the description. The only record shop in the village, the Vinyl Revival Store, it was called. It's a chap who's converted an outbuilding in his backyard garden into a little mini record shop, second-hand dealers, and he also does brand new stuff in there as well. I think he does record store day stuff as well. I was in the area. My daughter was 5-10 minutes down the road. My daughter does plays table tennis in a local league, plays for a local team. She's played for Northamptonshire County Juniors. She was girls county junior champion, and she was ranked at one stage 113th in the whole of Britain. Girl of her age. Yeah, one extremely proud dad, and I'm sure if her mum was still here, she'd be as pleased as punch for her and proud. But she was at a training course down the road from this village Buckton at a place called St Neots, right next to the A1 in Cambridgeshire. She's training to be a coach, helping to coach the juniors at a local club. So I dropped her off and I did a few jobs and went up to this second-hand record shop store, and yeah, came back with a few pieces. I'll start off with the 7-inch singles. There's not many. You'll have to excuse me. I don't know if I'm holding these up right to the camera. You never know, do you, until you can view what you've done at the very end. This is the Christians and the single Hooverville. 1987 on the Island label. Christians were a great sort of soul sort of pop band. I've got one of their albums in the collection, self-titled, and that's a fantastic album, the Christians. It's one of those I used to see quite a hell of a lot of at the old car boot sales and that. It was only £1 or so back then. Well worth picking up, buying, listening to if you ever see it. Christians, and this is from the album Hooverville. So yeah, great single. Do enjoy that one. This one is the beat, or the English beat, as they say over there in North America. And this one's called Jeanette. And I've got to admit to not knowing much about this one, although I'm a big fan of the beat, and of course part of the old ska revival. Admittedly, I don't know too much about this one. I'm sure I've heard it in the past, but my memory's terrible. This is again 1982 on the Go Feet label. And finally, one of my favourite bands from that ska revival, two-tone era, the Selector, the Whisper. This is actually a company sleeve. Train to Scarville on the B-side, and I've been racking my brains as to who did that originally. I've got it on vinyl, I've got it on CD as well. That's 1980, the Selector. Still going. Pauline Black, lead vocals, Gap Hendrickson, backing vocals. H. Bainbridge, I think it is, the original drummer, he's back with them. Backing one guise or another. Yep, the Selector. Great band they are. Pauline Black. Lovely lady. Great singer. Couple of 12-inch singles. Lena Lovitch. Say When. Now I've got to admit, I don't know a great deal about Lena Lovitch's discography. The only one I really know by her is Lucky Number. She was a bit of an oddball character. You've got to excuse this. I haven't played this yet, and it needs a good clean. Custom. Oh, blimey, nearly lost it there. Custom stiff label. Yeah. That was only a couple of quid, and if I'm honest, I was thumbing through a lot of the 12-inch singles that were going pretty cheap, just to sort of round my money off, as it were. I think I spent about 30 quid in total in that place. So yeah, don't know an awful great deal about Lena Lovitch's discography, but yeah, and a bit of an oddball character, but I'm sure it'd be fine. Sham 69 next, great British punk band, oi band, Hersham Boys. Great tune that was. Again, this needs a clean. Bit of dirt and that on there. It's on the what am I doing? Come on, Nick, get a grip. Polydor. Okay. Yeah, Jimmy Percy, lead singer. They were back in the day, plagued by racists. You get the National Front type people turning up to gigs and Zeke Highling, and they run riot, causing fights and punch-ups. And Jimmy Percy just walked away from the whole scene. He'd had enough of these racist wankers just turning up, causing trouble. And all this is because of playing the well, a lot of bands had this problem, and artists, because they played the Rock Against Racism gig. Sham 69 wanted to be a part of that, to show that they were against all this racist bullshit and bollocks, and unfortunately they paid the price. Yeah, but they're back now. They've been going back again for a good few years now, gigging. I'd like to go and see them play. Jimmy Percy's back there, fronting the band again. Great bloke he is, Jimmy Percy. Shame about the history of Sham 69, played by racist scum. But there you go, back now, playing, enjoying the music. Roger Daltrey next, Ride a Rock Horse. This is one of his albums I've seen knocking around for a long time, and I've always sort of passed it by. Even though I do collect Who stuff, I'm a big fan of the Who. I do collect the solo stuff. Yeah, I've not actually played these records yet. What I tend to do is when I'm buying records and I bring them home. That's on Polydor, by the way. When I buy records and bring them home, singles I'll sit down and I'll play all the way through. Albums I do sort of like needle drops all the way through, and I'll be, yeah, that sounds okay, and then when I get the chance I'll sit down and listen to them properly. But yeah, looking forward to listening to it. I don't mind Daltrey's sort of solo stuff. A lot of people don't really rate it, but you know, it's okay, I suppose. It'll never. I don't think it'll ever be as good as the Who, you know. But we'll give it a chance. We'll give it a play. This one, Fuzzbox, or as they used to be called, we've got a Fuzzbox and we're going to use it. Bit of a strange name. Yeah, all girl group. This is after they were sort of picked up by a major record label, and they were kind of there was a big sort of promotional push for them in a sleeve there with lyrics on, especially over in America. I remember them being on a show, and I can't remember the chap's name, and Meatloaf was on there as well with them. I think it's on the WEA label, or part of it, subsidiary of it. Yeah, they used to be years ago. Yeah, I've got some other records by them, 12-inch singles. You know, nice young ladies. Back then I was a nice young impressionable lad. Hard to believe, I know. Yeah, they used to be like an indie band, and they were a bit of a joke band at the start. They offered to step in and do a gig for somebody, even though they couldn't really play too well. And they were like sort of gigging and learning to play the instruments and that. And they were a great indie band, and they actually topped the indie charts here in Britain with Rules and Regulations EP, which I've got in the collection. I did some other good, cracking tunes. Love Is the Slug. That was a great one. Yeah, they were a great band, and they were picked up by major record company, heavily promoted, and it never really sort of panned out well. and it sort of faded away from the scene, I suppose. One of them jacked it in. She became a school teacher. Three of them. There was two sisters in the band. Let's see if I can remember their names. Yeah, that was Tina, Mags. No, not Mags. I'll pass on that one. That was Mags and Joe. They were sisters. That's Vicky, Vix. Yeah, Tina, the drummer, went on to become a school teacher, and Joe there unfortunately passed away a few years ago. I think of cancer or something like that. I'm not quite sure, but yeah, in the early days they were quite a good band, and later on they did some cracking tunes. Pink Sunshine. That wasn't a cover, I don't. Walking on Thin Ice, was that a cover? Was that a Yoko Ono song? I'm sure I did a Yoko Ono cover. Yeah, they weren't a bad band, but another one of these groups who get picked up by a major record label, and with good intentions, but well, I suppose a record label see them as a money-making cow, don't they? You know. But yeah, it never really panned out, and yeah, faded away. Shame, really. They weren't a bad group. Bad group. Nice young ladies, though. Finally, Slade on stage. I know Mike talked briefly about this when he was telling us all about the Slade CD box set came out. Again, admittedly, I don't know too much about this album. Looking forward to playing it. I think this might be some sort of promotional copy because I've just seen an embossed stamp on the back cover. You won't pick it up, but there is an embossed stamp. I've only just noticed there. It says not for sale, so I don't know if it's some sort of promotional copy or what. I ain't got a clue. I do have the Slade Live LP, which is absolutely bloody fantastic. I am a bit of a Slade fan. I do love Slade. I wish they'd have got back together, and done a few gigs. The Noddy Older's looking quite old, and he's knocking on a bit. Dave Hill, Jim Lee, Don is it Don Powell? I can't remember the bloody names. Terrible memory. Some cracking tunes on here. Take Me Back Home. Lock Up Your Daughters. We'll Bring the House Down, which is an absolute corking, stomping, barnstorming tune. Goodbye to Jane. Mama, We're All Crazy Now. Yeah, I'm sure this is going to be a cracking album to listen to. Do love Slade. That's on the RCA label. Yeah, so quite pleased with that little sort of haul from that little shop. And like I say, I will leave a link to it all in the description. So if you're ever in the area, Buckton near St Neots on the A1 in Cambridgeshire, you can hopefully pop in and have a mooch, see what you come up with. Bless you all for watching. Thank you so much. There's been a lot of comments recently. I do try and answer them ASAP. I think it's only right and fair you try. I know some channels have hundreds of comments and all that, but my channel's not massive. I've never asked for anybody to subscribe. I love hearing comments, chatting away with folk. So please feel free to comment. Yeah, bless you. I've got another one to do. Fines. This is like internet purchases coming up. So yeah, I'll get on and do that, and I'll upload that one a bit later. Cheerio and bye for now. Bless you.